Do you read a green, hit a putt exactly where you thought you were supposed to hit it, and still miss? Today we're going to talk about green reading, which is fundamental for us in Op 36 so we know where the ball's going to go before we hit it. Let's back up on green reading. Step one, there's two steps. Step one is we got to get the speed right. So if I'm going to hit this putt from 6 feet away, I need to have a system in place to know if I hit it too hard or too soft. That one I hit pretty hard and I played it outside the hole. If I was going to hit it that fast, I could still make the putt, but I've got to aim with less break. This is pretty hard to do if you're changing speeds or delivery speeds on every putt. We need to get consistent with our delivery speed. And there's two ways that we measure our delivery speed. One is where the ball stops relative to the hole. So if I miss this putt, I want to make sure that I stop the ball within about a shoe of the hole. That was pretty close. That might have been just a touch too soft. If I hit the putt and it goes more than a shoe past the hole, the delivery speed is too fast. And what I mean by that, if you come in here, if you hit your putt too fast, the capture width, meaning how wide of the hole you can use, if you're going really fast, you can only get it to go in right in the middle, because if you are on the edge, it'll spin out. What we're trying to do is maximize the amount of hole we can use, but also hit it hard enough that it will stay on line. We really feel like if you can get it to stop within a shoe of the hole, that's a pretty good marker of good speed. Now, what happens if you make the putt? How do you know if your speed was good or not? Well, Coach Ryan, I made the putt. It doesn't matter. It does. You need to be able to judge how I did on the putt, even if you make it. So if I set up, on this one I'm going to set up the sweet roll. This will help us to hit the same putt at different speeds. And let me set this up where there's a little bit less break. Okay, so come on tight on this. So if I was to hit a putt, and let's say this was the delivery speed, that ball from the eye line hits the back bottom of the cup, and it makes that really good sound in the cup. If I hit this putt a little bit too hard, it hits the dirt part of the hole, and that's too fast. Also, if I go too soft, let's say here, oh, that's not enough. That's too soft. If it's too soft, it doesn't stay on line and it'll wobble. Yes, it went in the hole, but let's find a speed that either stops within a shoe of the hole or it hits the back bottom of the cup, and we'll call that a swish. Let's use the sweet roll a little bit more. If I went over here from 6 feet away, and let's say I guess that if I aim right about where that golf ball is, that's the right read. I'm not sure if it is, but let's see. I'll go at red. Huh, I got lucky. That was a pretty good read. If I keep my read right here, this is really good for you to see. Come back around behind it. You can come right next to me. If I keep the read the same, but I hit it harder, it misses the hole. You don't even make the putt. If I get it back down to where we want it to be, red, that's a little bit too fast. Forget what I had it on. Green. There we go. So green is the correct speed. And we know if we go a little bit faster than that, it's not going to take the break and you're going to miss it. This is really important stuff for us to be aware of. And then the next part of this is hitting some putts and evaluating our speed. I'm going to hit some putts maybe from this distance here, maybe 6 feet away. This is exactly how I would practice if I were you. I would get your read and then try to get it to go the correct speed and then evaluate. That was pretty good speed. Why? Because it stopped within a shoe of the hole. I underread the putt just a little bit, but I was happy with my speed. Let me try that again. All right, that one I hit a little bit too hard. Why? Because it's outside of a shoe. I think you always need to evaluate your putts. Every time you hit one, was it the correct speed? Was it too hard? Too soft? And then you can start evaluating your read. That was a really good putt. I hit that really good. Within a shoe of the hole. I overread it a little bit, so I missed on the high side, but that was a pretty good putt. Another way that you can practice your speed other than going at a hole is using a training aid. I really like this. This is a speed strap. Each section is about 3 feet. And a way that you could practice this would be if you had a handful of golf balls. Let's say that I want to try to stop my first ball in the white area. Okay, next one I want to try to stop in the blue area. Good. Next one, yellow. Oh, didn't quite do it, so I can start over again. Now going back to one of our earlier videos, I think it's helpful for you to be aware in Op 36, we believe that to hit the ball further, you need to take a longer stroke. You don't need to go faster. Sometimes we see folks that do a really short swing, short stroke and go really fast through the ball. We believe that your stroke should be the same length on each side. And if we want to hit it further, we just need to take the putter back further. So that's white. Well, that's in yellow. I got to start over again. But this is a really good training aid, this speed strap. Maybe if you go downhill, now I go uphill. Uphill will be a little bit easier. So if I go white, and then I go blue, uphill is significantly easier. If I go yellow, and then I go blue again on the other side, it's incredible how much easier putting your speed up the hill is than down the hill. You just saw me do that. A good way for you to test if you are using a stroke that is the same length on each side. Now we're talking about speed today. Using this stroke meter like we did in a previous video is super helpful. If I put the ball right here, what you can do from the camera is you can see how big the stroke is on each side. So if I went gray to gray, wrong side of this. If I go gray to gray, it's probably not going to have enough to get to the hole. Gray, gray. So I'm going to have to go, let's try yellow, yellow. That might be about right. Yellow, yellow. That's pretty close. But if you're someone who has a stroke, when you look at it from face on, that goes like gray, yellow, really short, long, I would highly recommend that you work on evening out your stroke. That'll help you with your green reading and your speed. Let's recap what we did in this video. We talked about green reading, and one of the most challenging parts of golf is putting. And the reason why it's so hard is because greens are not flat like a pool table. Greens have undulations in them, and we have to predict which way it's going to go before we hit the putt. And the more experienced a player is, typically the better they are at predicting a ball and what it's doing. You can get better at this by coming out to the putting green on a consistent basis and hitting putts that curve and get used to seeing what a ball does. We talked today about the first step in green reading, which is knowing your speed, meaning making sure that your speed when the ball goes towards the hole, around the hole, the delivery speed is consistent. We talked about an ideal speed around the hole is one that stops a ball within about a shoe of the hole. That's the intention. If we do make the putt, we want to make sure the ball hits the back bottom of the cup, makes that kind of swish noise is what we like to call it. We don't want to hit the mud, and we don't want it to drip over the front edge. I hope this video was helpful for you. If you need even more detail on green reading, I invite you to put a comment below. We're happy to answer that. Or if you'd like some in-person help, find an Operation 36 coach near you.